SEC, 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 SEC.
You are Locked On Longhorns, your daily podcast on the Texas Longhorns. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Longhorns, the show. Jonathan Davis, your host. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more and visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. We found out that Texas and Oklahoma are headed to the SEC in 2024, and I got the most famous Texas Longhorn fan on Twitter here to talk about it, and Kyle Umlang. But first, Kyle, before we get into Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC in 2024, I got two things. First,
Sure.
The Super Bowl is on Sunday. Who you got, Chiefs or the Eagles?
I think Mahomes gets it done. I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Chiefs have it.
Okay, he thinks that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I am hoping the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, as I said on the podcast. I cannot let my Eagles friends have the last laugh. They've already been making fun of me because of the Cowboys. I need something to make fun of them for, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Eagles can't win.
Exactly. All right. Second thing, Kyle, you did win the bet. We had a bet earlier in the season. I said that Texas would beat Oklahoma State. They lost to Oklahoma State. I owed Kyle some Bijan mustard because of that. You got the Bijan mustard in the mail. Give us a review. How did it taste and what did you put it on?
I've put it on everything. I've put it on hot dogs, hamburgers, wraps, sandwiches. It's ridiculous. It's good. It's creamy. It's delicious. I can't get enough of it. I'm almost out. So we got to do another bet.
Well, hopefully I win it because I still haven't tried it. I've had the wings at Pluckers that they use to make it.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't had the mustard itself. So yeah, hopefully we bet again and hopefully I win it this time because I want to try it. As I mentioned before, Texas and Oklahoma, they came up with an agreement. Big 12, ESPN Fox, all the big heads got together. They finally got it done. Texas and Oklahoma headed to the SEC in 2024. This is their last year in the Big 12. First of all, Kyle, what does this move mean for Texas?
I mean, it means everything. It's better recruiting, a way better home schedule in 2024. You see our 2023 schedule. That schedule sucks. It is. There are no good games at home. I feel sorry for people who are wanting to spend a bunch of money on season tickets. 2023 is not the year, but 2024, those tickets are going to be worth a lot of money. So make sure you secure your season tickets for 2024. There's going to be at least 2 or 3 of that are just sellouts, awesome games, and it's going to be like that forever. I mean, just across the entire athletic department, it's just going to be better for all sports, all recruiting. We'll have it easier in basketball, maybe a little harder in baseball, but overall, it's a great move for Texas.
Yeah, they say in the SEC it just means more, and it sounds like you agree with that. So what do you think this move means for the conference as a whole? What does it mean for the SEC?
I mean, they've secured their footprint in the future of the college football landscape with this move. They'll be the second 16-team conference besides the Big Ten. Those two are top-tier conferences now. I think ACC will be the next to get to 16. I don't know who they're going to add, but maybe Notre Dame and someone else. But I think the Big 12, they have some good additions, but it's not going to replace OU and Texas. I think they're going to be kind of like a mid-major conference in a couple of years. It's going to be probably like an arms race to see who can be that third and fourth like big 16-team power conference. So SEC is done. They're good. They're fine. So is Big Ten, but that third conference is going to start a whole new revolution of conferences being messed up and switched up again.
Yeah, I know you're the resident Longhorn historian, so I'll ask you from a football perspective. How do you think, I guess based on previous experience, whatever data you can draw, how do you think Texas will stack up in the SEC football-wise?
I mean, Arkansas last year doesn't count. They were really good. We were very not ready for that game, but we played the 2019 LSU game down to the wire, lost by a score. I think Ingram had a drop touchdown pass that could have been the difference in the game in the first quarter. We played Bama down to the last second field goal they got. We should have won that game because of the not called safety, because of Quinn not getting hurt, all sorts of things. We should have won that game. We play tough SEC teams really well. We beat Georgia in 2018, Missouri in 2017. I'm not too worried about the SEC. A&M was middle tier Big 12 team, and they came in and won 11 games their first year. I know it helped that they had Johnny Football, but we got some talent too. So I think we'll be pleasantly surprised our first year at the SEC. I think we'll hang with the big dogs.
Yeah, I mean, Texas has been able to recruit for the most part like Georgia and Alabama. So if you get the coaching and the development right, the talent should take care of itself.
Exactly.
All right, you already talked about it being a future mid-major, but I'm still going to ask you, what does Texas and OU leaving after this year mean for the Big 12?
I mean, I pulled a stat. It wasn't last year, but the year before. Last year's kind of wonky because, TCU surprised everyone and made a run for the playoff in the national championship. So I haven't pulled the stats on that one, but regular season games, when a Big 12 team is playing Oklahoma or Texas, their ratings and TV viewership of that game spikes about 50, 60%. And when they're not playing them, no one's really watching. So they're getting the Big 12 schools get a bunch of money every year, but I think they're going to realize after Texas and Oklahoma leave that a big part of that is Texas and Oklahoma. Their TV contracts aren't going to be as big. Prime slots aren't going to be as open as they were. I think they'll do fine in recruiting. We've been doing fine as a conference. I think that'll be fine, but I think revenue, they will really notice when the revenue starts dropping off, because Texas and OU have been carrying the Big 12 for decades.
Yeah. So what you're most known for is pissing off Texas A&M fans, and really they should be grateful for you, because I don't know if you've probably taught Texas A&M fans more about themselves and their program than anybody else has, right? Even though it might not be what they want to hear. You published 2 books about how the Aggies are less than the University of Texas. But next year, the rivalry is finally renewed, right? They haven't played since 2011. I assume in 2024, they'll be playing on Thanksgiving in Kyle Field, in College Station. So what do you think the atmosphere will be like next year when the Lone Star Showdown returns to college football?
College game day, 100%. Even if the teams are 5-6 each, it'll still be college game day. It'll be the most talked about game all year. It'll be the most viewed game for the year. Calling it now, it'll break all attendance records. It'll break all concession records. The revenue from that will just be ridiculous. It's going to be packed. Just records will be broken for everything. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, are you going to be there?
Oh, I'll be there.
They should just put you on the 50-yard line. They should announce you before the game, put you on the 50-yard line, make sure you're in a box, and if Texas wins, regardless, they should bring you out on the field, to be shamed after or for bragging rights.
My dad and brother went to A&M, and I've been telling them for the last 5 years, wherever the game is, whenever it is, we're 100% going. I don't care how much it costs. We're going. So plan on it. So I'm already planning my trip.
Yeah, I'll be there as well. So outside of Texas A&M, the Red River rivalry with Oklahoma, and then the renewed rivalry with Arkansas, who do you think will be the biggest matchups or rivalries for Texas moving forward in the SEC?
Depends on the way they do the scheduling, but I think probably LSU would be thrown in there. I would love to play Tennessee a lot. It's just fun to play them in any sport because it's pretty. We have the advantage in most sports against Tennessee, but it's decently close. So I like playing them, and that whole who's the real UT debate is always fun to do leading up to any kind of matchup with them. So I wouldn't mind playing Tennessee and LSU. Everyone always wants to beat Bama and everything. You already mentioned Arkansas and Oklahoma, but Missouri, they're an old Big 12 foe. They hate us. Be nice to play them in something and spank them. I don't really care about playing Florida or Georgia or anything, but I'm sure we will eventually. But I'm really into those SEC West schools that have been talking a lot for the last decade. I'm ready to play them.
Yeah, I know we'll play Oklahoma, A&M, and Arkansas likely every year, but I definitely would love to see that LSU game every year. That's going to be fun.
For sure.
Every 2 years, whenever they play it. So now that we know for sure that this is the last year in the Big 12, Texas has not won a Big 12 championship since 2009, 2010, right?
Right.
Does this now mean that I already think it's Big 12 championship or bust, I guess. So, but does this like solidify that and say, yes, you have to win it on your way out, especially going a whole decade without winning it?
Yeah, you have to not only we have to win it, but I mean, if we don't win it, it better be like an Oklahoma State Baylor game where it's like down to the last like play of the game where we barely lose it and we should have won it, kind of a situation. That we cannot afford to have like a third or fourth place in the Big 12 and miss out on that. This is the year. Quinn shaved the mullet. He's ready to go. He's all business. No more partying in the back. He's all business. So I hope he plays better this year. And I think the floor is 10 wins and a Big 12 championship appearance. That's what has to be the floor this year. So if we can get to the game, I'll be happy enough. And then I think that'll make us ready for 2024.
Yeah, I mean, if we get to the game and we lose, I don't think we'll be happy. But I guess once we decompress, we can look at that as progress. And you mentioned Quinn Ewers cutting the mullet. I'm glad, he's taking after Arch a little bit. He saw Arch and was like, let me clean this up a little bit.
Yeah, Arch is too clean cut. He had to shape up.
He's like, let me look like the young prodigy here. All right, Kyle. When is Aggie Facts Volume 3 dropping? Let the crowd know.
Probably before summer hits. Sometime in there.
All right, so get us out of here with a couple of Aggie facts, man.
I'm
putting him on the spot. He's in the car. If he's able to spit a few facts, that just shows how dedicated to the bit he is.
I always like doing this one. It's claim national championships. Texas has 4, A&M has 3. If you do all championships that Texas could claim based on any major selector that has put them at first place that we could claim, we would have 9. If A&M did that also, they would have 3 because they did do that. They claimed every single thing that they could possibly claim. So we still have 5 out on the table that we could claim. They have 0 on the table. We have more unclaimed than they have claimed. So that's 1. They haven't won a road game against a ranked opponent since 2014. They haven't been to a Big 12 championship, or they haven't been to a conference championship since 98. That Titanic meme, it's been 84 years. We can finally use that this year because it's been 84 years since they've won a national championship. Jimbo Fisher has only finished ranked ahead of the Longhorns 1 year that he's been coaching. He's been coaching 5 years. He's only finished above the Longhorns 1 year, and that was the COVID year. What else? Tom Herman, as you know, was fired for underperforming. He won 4 bowls with the Longhorns. If he was the Texas A&M head coach, he would have more bowl wins than any other Texas A&M head coach in the history of the program. But we fired him for underperforming.
No head coach in the history of Texas A&M University has 4 bowl wins?
Nope. Even those guys that coached like 2 decades. This is Jimbo's 6th year. He only has 3 bowl wins.
All right, I think poverty down there in College Station. I think we can go ahead and end on that. Thank you, Kyle Umlang, for joining us, getting us ready for the SEC move. Texas and Oklahoma will be going in 2024, and a nice game in Ann Arbor as well against the Michigan Wolverines.
Yes.
Should be a fun year.
It'll be a good year
For the 2024 Longhorns. Hook 'em and peace.
Hook 'em.